It is really an honor to be given this opportunity to share about qualitative research methods on this seminar. Thank you, Bethany. So we hope by the end of the seminar, you will have a broad view of qualitative research, and you will understand better, how qualitative research can benefit the work of stakeholders in the health domain. So, and we, as Bethany said, we will discuss at the end one article. Okay. So, how do we define qualitative research? So, I have to say there is no single definition for qualitative research. But it is really the study of social and cultural phenomena that are really difficult to measure using quantitative methods. These phenomena are difficult to quantify because they are really intangible social facts. They are beliefs, they are perceptions, they are institutions, they are behaviors of human experiences. So qualitative research is really the study of people in their social world, because you know that human beings are really the product of their environment and also the social and structural factors surrounding them in terms of social context in which people live, their relationship, and also the meanings those things give to their lives. So qualitative research really apply to give logical, intuitive answers to those phenomena that are part of the social world. We have to understand also there are, while qualitative research can take many forms, there are certain characteristics that are common to qualitative research. So the first one is descriptive. With the descriptive characteristics, the researcher tries to observe, interpret, and describe all cultural and social behaviors and perspectives of participants or communities that are involved in the research study. The second characteristic, we called it humanistics. It's because it involves, natural interaction with communities and also individuals in order to learn about the human experience which have value in the research that we are trying to make. We also think that qualitative research can be iterative, which means that the research is designed in a way to be flexible and adaptive, because this dynamic will allow modification within the research project over time, as early phase can help inform, later phase of the research. The thick descriptions characteristics refer mostly to the aim of really maximizing the in-depth, the wealth of information that we are getting from the participants. And then at last, the non-directionals means that even though we have a general hypothesis, we shouldn't take advantage of setting fixed set ideas of what we will discover later. And at last, we have to say that the overall goal, primary goals of qualitative research is to really describe and explain structural and social, which include cultural, phenomena from the social world. So many also disciplines use qualitative research in their practices, and those are anthropology, medicines, because we are on the field of the medicine, sociology, psychology, and all that. Based on the definitions of qualitative research and the characteristics that I just talked about, how do you think qualitative investigations can help professionals in their practice? What added value do you think qualitative research can bring in your field? So definitely there are values, and there are many. As you can see here, it can help, generate new knowledge for you, as health professional in your own domain. You can generate, new knowledge, new theory in study, specific interventions on your program. It can also help you understand environmental issues that affect, health. It can also help, understand why patients are struggling with treatment. For example, why some people adopt some kind of behavior, around specific health issues. It can also help you to, as he said, to understand beliefs, fears regarding treatment, motivations, emotions, all these specific things in relation to, a specific program. It can also help you, understand why certain people adopt, certain behavior. But also, if you want to understand, to give explanation to a certain trends in a program, for example, if you want to see why certain health issues affect women or children disproportionately, qualitative research is the methods that could help you with that. And at the end, these can help inform, or revise policy, or as they said, inform new interventions, but also help allocate resources where it's really needed. Now we are going to talk briefly about, the process you have to go through for qualitative research. As in all research approach, qualitative research require a number of steps. And those steps start really by, first of all, identifying your problems or issue that you want to investigate in, and turn that problem into a question. So you have to have a research question, to start your process. So you look into your environment to find what is the purpose of doing that research, and then from there you elaborate your questions. So with the question, you will limit really the scope of the research, because you will provide, parameters for the study. If you don't do that, you might not know where to start and where to end. And we have to say also that often research questions start with an interrogation. Who was telling me that the questions that you ask yourself is why? So those questions, it is how I can do it, and then what also, and where. It's mostly those four questions. So for example, in our family planning study, the way we set our questions, we were asking ourselves to understand what are the general public perceptions of reproductive health and family planning in Southern Kayonza. So for us, the interests were mostly about what are those perceptions. And after you finish you have your questions, so you will also look for the research orientation. What is the research orientation? When you are doing research, you have to search on what already exists in that field. What others have had written and then what can you gather around your around that specific questions you want to answer. And then from there, you can define exactly the different stage of your research process. So the lead review, it's really the thing that is going to guide your research investigation. And then after that, you will set your hypothesis to test the research question. And then you will build your team to start collecting data. And in collecting the data, you will develop your tools. And after developing the tools, you will train your team if you are not going to do the research yourself. And you will also set all the elements that can provide the research team, but also the participant with all they need to perform the research properly. Because you will have to develop consent form, information to give to the research participant. You will have to develop all these little details and before you go. And after that, when you start gathering data, you will find the better strategy to analyze them and interpret them. So from the data, you will draw, your findings and your conclusion that you will later publish.